My first guest tonight is one of the leading actors in the entire world. He has been nominated for his 7th Best Actor Oscar for his work in My Favorite Year, and his 1972 film, The Ruling Class, is just about to be re-released. Please welcome Mr. Peter O'Toole.
Right up here. Good. Good. Peter, all right. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
That was
very good music.
It's quite an entrance. Very nice. How are you?
Interesting.
Good. Now, let me explain something to folks who are now watching this a week after the fact. This is actually being taped the night of the Academy Awards presentation in Los Angeles.
Oh, that's deconfusing.
Yes. And with that in mind, quite obviously, you are not there.
No, I am here.
Yeah. And...
Whatever here is, isn't it?
Yes. Now, is there a reason that you are not...
There?
Yeah.
Because I'm here. There is.
Uh-huh.
I was in Toronto until... What day is it?
Today is Monday.
Monday.
April 11.
Till Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Tape recording television of... excuse me, Pygmalion. And
a good gift for you would be a lighter, if anybody is interested, I guess.
Oddly enough.
Well, there you go. Eh? All right, now, you were...
Simple sense of frugality.
Yeah.
Well, yes, tape recording, taping Pygmalion. And I came to New York to catch an airplane, which I will be catching in another hour and a quarter, to Ireland. And the reason I will not be at the awards, though it is no discourtesy to the Academy, far from it, is that I had a great blessing on March the 17th, on St. Patrick's Day. A son was born.
On St. Patrick's Day, that's very nice.
And his mother, very clever mother to have a baby on St. Patrick's Day, is from the United States, from a family from the East Coast has been here for years and years, so we have an Irish-American son.
Yes. But
I've only seen him for about 5 hours, and her, and I had to leave Ireland to go to Toronto to record the thing, and I'm on my way back to Ireland. That's why.
Well, I can respect that. Now,
priorities.
Let me ask you, if you win tonight, the Academy Award, have you already selected somebody to accept the award for you? You know how they always say, accepting for Mr. O'Toole? How does that work?
Well, I shan't win.
You don't think you win?
No.
So then I guess you didn't select somebody to pick it up for you.
No, I thought that would be unimportant. Yeah. It is if I wasn't going to.
Now, this is interesting. Why don't you think you'll win?
The odds in Las Vegas are 9-1 against.
Oh.
And I'm a bookie's son.
Enough said on that. Now, we have to, Peter, we have to go away for station identification. But when we return, perhaps you can tell us, although this will be when people see it a week after the fact, what you feel, who you think the winner might be if you're taking yourself out of the race. Okay. All right. We'll be right back with Peter O'Toole. Back, ladies and gentlemen. Peter O'Toole is here tomorrow night. George Miller will be here, also the author of How Life Imitates the World Series, Tom Boswell, and Zippy the Chimp. Also later on tonight, Phoebe Snow will be here. Peter, again, I want to thank you for being here because
Phoebe Snow?
Phoebe Snow is here tonight.
She really?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I think she's wonderful.
You enjoy her work?
Very much.
Oh, that's
nice.
I
enjoy that guitarist. You're brilliant.
Hiram Bullock. And I know you're on tight travel arrangements, so I'm very grateful that you could spend some time here tonight. Now, about the Academy Awards, since you feel that 9-1 you don't really stand a good chance, who do you think will win the award for Best Actor tonight?
I hope that it will be Paul Newman.
Yeah. And you have been nominated for this award. This will be your 7th time?
It will.
And the fact that if you do not win, is this discouraging to be nominated 7 times?
Oh, no, it's very encouraging. I mean, it means, you know, somebody's thinking of me.
Yeah. Go right ahead. Now, you were in the film My Favorite Year. You played Alan Swan, obviously, a man, a hellraiser, a guy who drank and enjoyed a good time. Is there anything like that in your background that would help you execute that role?
Oh, I had a little rehearsal for a few years, yeah.
Any episode come to mind that you could share with us at this time?
If you've seen the film.
Yes, sir, I have seen it and enjoyed it.
Well, there's a scene of climbing a building.
Oh, yes, yes.
Well, many years ago, Richard Harris and myself, we were students together. And at about 3 in the morning, he thought it would be a very good idea to pay a visit to some ladies who lived on the top of a very high building. And the only way of getting up there was to climb. And it was huge. Huge. And we both had a drain pipe each. And up we got. And I did manage to get to this window, which happened to be open, and I walked in. There were some very alarmed ladies for our little romantic encounter.
Now,
and I looked below, and Richard's drain pipe had broken. And he could neither go up nor down.
yeah.
So I suggested to the ladies that we should telephone the police and say there was an Irish hooligan trying to enter the building.
Yeah, have him arrested, sure, doing time. When you, now, you're wearing green socks tonight, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah. Do you always wear green socks?
I do.
Why is that? They're dark green on this particular occasion, aren't they?
It was, probably still is, considered unlucky to wear green at a race meeting.
That's right.
And this was pointed out to me with considerable severity by my father. But I have a talent for disobedience, and I thought, how on earth can I wear green without that old bugger knowing? Socks.
Socks. Now you mentioned your father was a bookie, and you guys traveled around together, didn't you?
All over, yeah.
From what time, how old were you when you first started going out on trips with your dad?
5 weeks.
And he would visit the various race tracks or meets?
Tracks in Ireland and England and France.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so you were born in Ireland but ended up being raised in England?
I spent the war years in England, that was all.
Yeah. Tell me about I was reading an interesting article this afternoon about the first time you met Katharine Hepburn.
He's a bad man.
No, is that a true story, if it's the one we're thinking of?
It is.
All right, tell the folks that.
What is your name?
Dave. I'm Dave. I'm Dave.
Your surname?
Letterman. Dave Letterman.
Letterman.
Yes, sir.
It's not... It's not O. Letterman by any chance.
Oh, no. Although it could be if it would help, if it would...
Oh, dear. If Kate's watching this, I was in a play in London called The Long, the Short, and the Tall. about young soldiers. And the dressing rooms, which is invariably the case, were pretty primitive, and they weren't supplied with bathrooms. And I was in the sink.
Yeah. But I mean...
And a voice said, "Good evening, my name is Kate Hepburn." So I did a lot of pretending hand-washing acting. An attempt to replace...
There's no chance that the great lady was there for the same purpose, is there? That's awful notion. Peter, if you can hang around a moment longer, we have to go away for a commercial, but we'll be right back, sir. More with Peter O'Toole. Thank you very much. Peter O'Toole is here on his way to Ireland, and you have 2 watches on, I believe, don't you? Is there any reason for that?
I was asked this earlier today, so I daren't tell you the reason.
Oh, somebody else asked you this?
Mm.
Who asked you this?
Another journalist.
Oh, a journalist. Well, that was probably your first journalist of the day, then. Now, you can't tell us why?
It's the same answer.
That's all right.
I don't wish to waste time looking at the wrong wrist.
I know. That kind of delay can be costly sometimes. You just tell us about the movie that is now being re-released.
The Ruling Class?
Yes, sir.
What would you like to know?
Tell us, why is it being re-released? It was originally released in the 70s, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
Why? Embassy Films have decided to re-release it at the Lowe's Twin here in New York and in Los Angeles. I imagine the fundamental reason is to earn some money. But I think at the time, it's an extraordinarily funny film. And it was received a great deal of critical acclaim in Europe and was chosen as, it became very posh, if you follow me, and became the British entry for the Cannes jug, or whatever it is.
the Cannes jug, huh?
And it became over-bloated and overblown, and it was made by a bunch of friends who wanted to do this particular outrageous material. For we felt it was a kind of summation of the 60s.
Yeah.
It's a great whizzing fizz of words and images. And it gave me the chance to play Jesus Christ and Jack the Ripper. And also, it was said of it that it was ahead of its time. Maybe now is the time.
Okay. We have a couple of minutes from the film, Peter.
For the things that were considered to be outrageous in it, since God bless them, the Python boys and whatever, they punched a hole into, the accepted mores of the time. And this may just slide in nicely, too.
Do you know what is on the film we're going to look at here?
Not the foggies.
Okay, it's pretty much self-explanatory then, I understand. This is from The Ruling Class, the Peter O'Toole film, currently in re-release.
For the reintroduction of the death penalty.
Bravo.
You mean there's no death penalty in England, green and pleasant?
Well, surely you knew that they...
We're a bit out of touch. The hangman holds our society together. He is the symbol of the great chastiser. He built this world on punishment and fear. Snuff out fear and see what follows. Sons strike their doddering dads. Young girls show their ankles and bosoms and say rude things about the Queen. Anything goes, and they do it openly in the streets and frighten the horses.
It's the times. What can we do about it?
Bring back fear.
Yeah.
In the old days, the executioner kept the common herd in order. When he stood on his gallows, you knew God was in his heaven, all right for the world. The punishment for blaspheming was to be broken on the wheel. First the fibula, crack. Then the tibia, patella, and femur, crack, crack, crack. Then the corpus, ulna, and radius, crack. Disconnect them bones and dry bones, disconnect them bones and dry bones, disconnect them bones and dry bones. Now hear the word of the Lord. Well, your hip bone's connected to your neck bone's connected to your shoulder bone's connected to your backbone, your backbone's connected to your hip bone's connected to your thigh bone. Now hear the word of the Lord.
That's great. Very interesting, very silly. Looks like a lot of fun. Again, I know things, your schedule is very difficult, and I appreciate you taking the time to come over. It was a thrill to meet you, and I've certainly enjoyed your work for a long time, and thanks again. Is there anything you'd like to leave us with before we whisk you to the airport?
It is so long ago. It's, what, 12 years? That group of people were a real hunt. And we turned up merely and didn't tell them what was going to happen. Mm-hmm. There were 2 or 3 actors dotted around. And I began that speech. And people were saying, hear, hear. Hear, hear. Bring back the rack. And before we did the scene, when we all come tottering out of the pub, in came this lady with a huge amount of documents, which was a petition to bring back capital punishment.
There you go, yeah.
And she'd taken it to think, and would I sign it? I said, certainly. I signed it. Mycroft Holmes, which is Sherlock Holmes' brother. That's all.
Have a nice trip. Nice meeting you, sir. Peter O'Toole, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with Phoebe Snow.